Alright, this is the part 2 video for our Sultai Mutate deck. The first one ran out of time, so this is just the final conclusions, whether or not I win or not. Titanoff Rex, unfortunately, is not going to cut it because I do have a 6/6 trample flyer. Okay, so yeah, part 2 video. So now with the part 2 video, we can go over our deck, and this is a not bad 7-win Ikoria draft. So, yep, never use, don't have, usually don't have enough. It's not often that I draft another archetype in a set given how broken cycling is, but no one else is drafting cycling, so if you can, take advantage of cycling, please, if you want to just gain a bunch of wins, but mostly this is mostly a fun deck, so yep, not bad for um, a mutate deck in Ikoria, and we're just going to do an overview. I think the MVP of this deck was definitely Brokos, i.e. Space Godzilla, and not Gigan, so I think he deserves the front cover. But anyways, yeah, not a bad deck. In terms of interaction, we do have a Ram Through. We're not playing companions, so it's hard to it's hard to it's hard to put the to diversify everything. So this is kind of like our removal spells here. Which isn't a whole ton. I mean, usually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including Frostlinks, is 6. So 6 interaction spells. In terms of value, we have a copy of One Mine and Dark Bargain, as well as the Godzilla that we can get back. But I guess this also mutates on 4, so let's just move everything here, actually. So yeah, not a bad deck. Has a decent amount of creatures, up to 14. In terms of our mutate creatures, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 mutate creatures, and then a few mutate targets. One I would highly advise not playing is the Aegis Turtle, but But if you don't have an option, I would play one. But I would definitely prefer an egg over the Aegis Turtle or something else. But yeah, for our deck, it's just a fine Sultai Mutate deck, nothing too amazing. It would have been more amazing if we had like another copy of Humble Naturals to go with our Exuberant Wolf Bear, maybe another creature, maybe a Dreamtail Heron to mutate onto the Thieving Otters to provide flying, as well as the to provide flying for the Thieving Otter, as well as the Bile Quartz Space Godzilla. We have a decent amount of top-end finishers, Ivy Elementals that can grow pretty large, Gigan, a giant flying shark typhoon, Bile Quartz Space Godzilla. But overall, I've been pretty impressed by this deck. It's pretty much an okay Sultai Mutate deck, pretty much as basic as you can imagine, outside of the Bile Quartz Space Godzilla and Shark Typhoon. That's kind of our two bombs. Unfortunately, Gigan didn't do too much in this draft. The best target it got was an Exuberant Wolf Bear, and that was only one game. But given our lack of even cost creatures, I definitely expected it to be very low. But yeah, we had Humble Naturals and Zagoth Crystal also as overperformers in this deck, allowing us to ramp out our large top-end finishers. I guess Glowstone Recluse is also kind of like a 4-mana mutate creature, but it's only at 3 mana. Didn't see Trumpeting Gnar too much. In one of the games, I think it was a huge mistake mutating the Cavern Whisperer onto it, since, again, it was a pretty gnarly 2-for-1, and was better off for me using this to mutate onto the Turtle instead, making 2 3/3 creatures. But yeah, it wasn't. This deck was fine, and then our mana base, 4 black sources including Evolving Wilds, 8 green sources including Evolving Wilds, and 9 blue sources including the Evolving Wilds, given that we're slightly favoring blue. So, yep, not a bad deck. Surprising, even got to 7. I mean, it's kind of surprising that no one's drafting Cycling, because against a Zenith Flare deck, I think we would have been pretty much done with. But yeah, let's crack some packs, claim our prize, and then pretend we're drafting Ikoria, Lair of Behemoths. But yeah, not bad for a quick draft video. If this ended up in Premier Draft, I swear to God, I would be facing against a million cycling decks, but kind of dodged a bullet there, since everyone else wants to do Zendikar Rising or Kaladesh Remastered. So, yep. Pack one, pick one. If we were drafting Ikoria, Probably take the Archipelago and set up some sort of blue mutate tech. This card is very strong. I think it's very well designed. It's not like completely broken that it's unbeatable. Like cards like Capture Sphere, Blood Curdle can still answer it. But it's just a very reasonable card. You can mutate this on 6, tap down a creature, which is quite nice, and then get in a large attack and usually catch them off guard. And then if you're able to mutate onto this multiple times, you can tap down more creatures, so it can be a pretty nice interaction spell on turn 6, as well as a creature that can hit hard. So big fan of the Archipelago. I think this card is really good. Migratory Greathorn, definitely one of the probably the second best green common. I think the best green common is by far Ramthrough, given that green has bad removal in this set. Migratory Greathorn just allows you to splash, enables mutate, and then allows you to fix and ramp, so this card is quite nice. Haven't been too impressed by Zagoth Mamba, because a 1/1 is just not a good blocker and attacker. Like, sure, you can mutate onto this and kill something with value, but honestly, it's not very good at blocking, so if you just play this out early, I mean, if this comes in late and you're unable to mutate onto this, it's essentially just a dead card, probably even worse than a land. Almighty Brushwag is also quite an overperformer, a pretty decent common, a nice mutate target onto, since it can pump itself later. So this card is not bad. You can mutate onto this and then enhance your creature by pumping it, and then Humble Naturalist can be a nice mana dork on turn 2. But yeah, probably Archipelago. Actually, the best common in this pack is probably Fire Prophecy, never mind. I think the picks would go Archipelago, Fire Prophecy, and then Migratory Greathorn, but yeah, Fire Prophecy also probably the second best, if not the best common in this set. Between this and Blood Curdle, it is close. Fire Prophecy does lean you a little bit towards the red-white cycling decks and the blue-red spells decks, which is considered the best archetypes, whereas Blood Curdle is amazing, but I think Fire Prophecy could just be better just because they lean towards the red-white cycling deck, and then just being able to loot a card onto the bottom is quite nice, and then 3 damage is usually enough to deal with something early on. But Blood Curdle can just essentially kill anything and give something menace, so not sure if Blood Curdle or Fire Prophecy are which one is the best, but they're both kind of close. But probably take Archipelago or pack one, pick one, maybe against up a mutate deck. But I can also see the argument taking Fire Prophecy to keep my options open. But definitely prefer those two over Migratory Greathorn. Yeah, I'll probably still take Fire Prophecy over Ramthrough. I think red is just a very deep color in this set. Green, unfortunately, a lot of pro expert level drafters have been stating that green is the worst color in Ikoria, given that Mutate is just not a very it's just not very good compared to cycling and the sacrifice decks, because you just unfortunately get 2 for 1 pretty badly. But Ramthrough, I would still take it if I was in green, and I would still probably take it here over everything else besides Fire Prophecy. There's also Sanctuary Lockdown for the Black-White Humans decks, which is okay. Boneyard Lurker, if you do end up in green-black Reanimator, is pretty nice, but you can still cast this in any green deck. It has the flexibility, but it's still kind of slow, but I would still take Fire Prophecy over it, so... Yep, Spell Eater over Wolverine, also a nice overperformer in the blue-red spells deck, and can also be feasible in the cycling decks, as long as you can cycle enough instances and sorceries in your graveyard. Having a 3-mana 3/2 double striker is no joke, so... But probably still take Fire Prophecy. And then let's pretend we're drafting Zendikar Rising. Yeah, Mirage is a bomb, like, come on. Yeah, but make sure you, after you attack with your... you make sure you trigger the landfall after your attack phase, so then you can untap everything and get the second trigger, because not a lot of people realize that if you play this in your first main phase, it's not going to give you the extra combat phase. So yeah, don't make that misplay of playing a land in your main phase. Definitely attack first with your creatures, and then play landfall to untap them, and then get in a second attack. But Mirage is just a game-ending bomb. This card can... This card's obviously the first pick, and then between Cinderclasm and Cunning Geyser Mage, I've been pretty impressed by the Cinderclasm, but Cunning Geyser Mage, just if we do end up with the blue-green kicker deck, it just fits very well. It's a nice split card. You can either play this as a 3/2 early on to play offense or defense, and then in the late game, you can kick this as an interaction spell later, which can bounce something back, and then this is quite nice. So yeah, Cunning Geyser Mage isn't overperformed, but Cinderclasm has his moments, so don't sleep on this card. Typically speaking, red is not very controlling this set. It's very aggressive with lots of low 2 toughness creatures, but it can definitely lead to nice 2 or 3 for ones against opposing aggro decks. So don't sleep on Cinderclasm. It definitely can have its moments, but probably still take Cunning Geyser Mage over it. So there you have it. Not bad for our final boss. And yep, even though this video didn't showcase too much, I still wanted to show the results of our draft. So there you have it, and stay tuned for maybe some more draft videos. And unfortunately, there's no more Zendikar Kaladesh Remaster, but I'm still fine with it because the reason why my gem counts went down was because of Kaladesh Remastered. It's just very bomb heavy, so probably gonna maybe do more Zendikar Rising or save up my gems for Kaldheim next year. So we'll see. And yeah, in the meantime, have a wonderful day, guys, and take care. And hope this video help you improve your Ikoria quick draft experiences.